It's lovely to have you here. I think this is more sort of a personal level where people can get to know you on a different level and understand where this book sort of originated from, you as the person, you as the light worker. And that way we can sort of understand how you operate, how the book came about, because, you know, you have received some beautiful reviews, and some people have brought me to tears with some of the things they have said about your beautiful, amazing book. So for those that don't know what we're talking about this book here, which I read out every time on a live. I have a new poem, and it's called Journey of the Awakening Heart. It is the most stunning dimensional book. It always gets you. You just open a page when you need a message and it's there. It's inspiring.
To me, it's like an oracle card book where, you know, if you want to foretell the future, or if you want to see what your day's look like, or there are any special angelic messages, which, you know, whatever that may be, just opening up, being guided by your heart and spirit, and you open up and then you've got that message there. That's to me what this book is, and that's sort of how it all panned out. It wasn't intentionally written like this, but I guess it just turned out the way it is. And yeah, I'm grateful for Spirit for allowing me to express it in such a way, because I find now that there's so many diverse messages that people connect with, and all levels of people from all walks of life can connect with it. So, and thank you, by the way, to your followers and friends, New Zealand and America. And I'm overwhelmed with all the loving messages and reviews that I got. So thank you from my heart.
Oh, you're very welcome, hon. And everyone's so pleased to have found something so beautiful. You know, it's not, I mean, there's a dime to a dozen books out there, but this one, when I got it, like I said, my first reaction when I even opened it, because I was through your beautiful sister Manel that gave it to me, and I opened it and I was kind of like, oh my God, I was sitting in the car, I couldn't get it open fast enough. And I went, oh my God, I could feel the vibration coming out of it as I opened it. And I knew it was something very, very special. So for those that are joining us, you can join us in the Zoom. I have posted the link. And for those that are on the live, please leave your questions here. Now, we're just going to quickly talk about channeling, and then I'll ask you about a couple of my favorite poems, and then others can ask you. So there's a sort of an interest out there as people start getting involved in their sort of, you know, higher self and wanting to channel and understand what they're hearing from angels, guides, ascended masters, galactics. What is channeling in your view? How do you know that you're channeling rather than hearing something just in your most present consciousness?
Well, I think I covered this in the past, in our last interview. For me, channeling, well, first of all, I'd like to mention that when I channel, I don't really necessarily focus on the source of the channeling. Like, I don't try to distinguish between what it may be, you know, Saint Michael or the angels, or you know, Saint Germain, or I don't try and find out the source of the channel, because I feel that the message is one. So the message of light and unity is one.
Yes.
But what I really important to know and discern, especially for new practitioners who are new on the path of channeling, so that, you know, still practicing this channeling, the art of channeling, I call it, is really discerning between the voice of the dark and the voice of the light. So really knowing what you're channeling, because sometimes we can be open ourselves up to receive you know, insidious messages that are quite, you know, evil and dark, and we don't want to, we're trying as much as possible to steer away from that, and just, you know, steer towards the light and receive pure messages from God. So for that to happen, there's something in yoga that we call Shat Karmas. What that means, it's 6 ways to purify the mind, body, vehicle, if you like, or the vessel. And there's 6 ways to do that. So 6 practices that are very, very, that sort of form the core of the yogic practices. So there's other practices as well, but for a yogi who's practiced pretty much half of my adult life in yoga and trained other people on the path of yoga, I really resonate with this way of cleansing the mind and body. So it's why we need to do it. Is if you haven't detoxed and you haven't got a pure channel open, there's going to be a lot of like fogginess and infiltration. So first of all, you need to ensure that you have a clear and a clean channel to receive the messages. And it's like a radio station. So you turn on, to the radio station that you resonate with. And when you're on that channel, you'll receive the message clear and loud. But if you're one off, slightly off, it's going to be very blurry and you may get mixed messages. So it's about the clarity of the channeler too.
Absolutely, I like that. I really like that clarity, because like you say, if you're not clear, it gets distorted like a signal.
The message gets very distorted, and that's where channelers, I believe, and I feel that they get they start to get into getting mixed messages and distorted messages when they haven't worked on themselves and followed that path of cleanliness of the mind and body. And to get to that, you don't necessarily have to embark on a path of yoga, obviously, but you can if you want to, and that would be what we call the royal path, the Raja Yoga path. But if you don't necessarily feel drawn or resonate with that path, you can actually just do those detoxing practices yourself. And that would entail, obviously, cleaning your body and cleaning your mind. So the purification of the mind begins by, first of all, removing anything that has a toxic nature out of your environment. So if you're cleansing your mind, you'd have to remove your television, for example. You'd have to connect with people who are on the same vibration as you. You'd have to listen to only things that are of higher consciousness. So if you're listening to music, you've got to be very discerning about what music you bring into your field of consciousness. And you may say, well, it's just a song, or it's just this or that. But no, it's a word has a very big impact on your energy, cleanliness, and purity. So think about everything that you're doing. And first of all, it's an effort. It's a practice with effort. So it's a big commitment required at the start. Once you get into it, your body just does it automatically. It filters out that which is not of light, and only that which is of light comes into your energy field. And so the mind is really an important device that you can use to filter out that which is not of light and just keep that which resonates with your highest purpose. And the body, to detox the body, you've got to do, the obvious things, which is eat more greens and try and go on a light diet as well. So, less of the heavy food and more of that light, soul nourishing food, I call it. So you may opt to go vegetarian, but that's up to you. It's a personal thing. It's where you feel you're at, and you know your body more than anyone else. So, don't feel like you have to fit in a certain box to be able to channel, but it's very important that you understand your body. So be your own doctor, be your own healer, and know what you're putting in your body, and not just in terms of food, but also your water, your fluid, because we're 75.
Absolutely. I can't agree more, especially with the water. I tend to drink a lot of water.
A lot of water, yeah. And I was one of these people that never drank water. Too busy, and I forget to drink water throughout the day. So I'd reach for like tea, or I never drank Coke. I don't know what.
No, I don't drink Coke either.
I drink coffee and tea and whatever, apple juice or whatever. So yeah, nothing like water. So pure water, and bless your water. Always think of positive things. Always invoke the light energy, the light vibration when you're reaching out for that glass of water. It makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
So So yeah, cleanliness of the mind and body, what we call in yoga is santosha, so contentment, first of all, but also the shocha, which is cleanliness. So cleanliness of your thoughts, cleanliness of your body, cleanliness of your mind, and we must not forget also the cleanliness of the heart. So really work on yourself, work on purifying your heart, eliminating anything that you can't eliminate triggers. So if you're here to try and eliminate triggers by cutting out all these people, you know, getting rid of a partner who triggers you, or a child who just doesn't fit into your idea of what a perfect child is, because we all get, you know, close family members, or even family, a child or a partner who, no one's perfect, and they all trigger us. So by eliminating the source of the trigger, it's not going to solve the problem. You have to go into your heart and learn and really be honest with what you're learning from that interaction. You know, what is it that I can take from it? It's not always you know, about us. We have to also learn to feel other people's feelings and emotions, and it kind of springs from there. So when you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together and learn about mind, body, consciousness and connection, and open yourself up and work on your chakras, and like I said, the 6 ways of purifying yourself, which I won't go through into now because they're very complex and detailed. But you know, that one of them is a salt and water cleanliness, and through the nose, and one's the bowel movement, so that you can clean your bowels and all that. So they're all connected. You may feel like I don't need to do that to channel. I just need to open the third eye. That's not correct.
It doesn't work that way. You have to be, you have to be totally clear, don't you? You've got to get all your blockages out, all your resistance out. There's a lot of resistance in our body that we've carried through from the ages as well. Started to learn. So I like that you've mentioned we need to do these cleanses. We really do.
Yeah, and they don't have to be all at once. You know, life is a journey, and so you know, just make an effort, just make a small effort, and the universe, God will provide. So as long as you have the intention set on something for your day or for your week, and depends on how busy you are, but make time, because I feel my life, I've spent my life prioritizing spiritual work. So I kind of channeled at a very young age. I didn't call it channeling. I thought I was just hearing things. But as I grew older, and now in my early 40s, so, you know, I've had a lot of experience since 20 or 18, since I've opened up to this channel. It was a matter for me of discerning what is good and what's not good, but not really labeling it. I don't know if that makes sense, but in this circumstance, in this scenario, you do want us to discern. Like, you know, maybe you don't want to be doing that with everything in your life and get too specific about, oh, this is right, this is not, this is this, this is that. You kind of want to allow a flow a little bit. So, you know, but when it comes to listening to voices that are channeled, you do have to discern. That's the most important thing, is that where is it coming from, but not necessarily naming the source, because once you know it's of light, that's it. It's from one source. It's God speaking through these various channels.
Absolutely.
But what you want to discern is, what's the counter voice that is trying to talk to me? Am I being infiltrated? Is that voice using me to get a message out there that's not conducive to the spiritual evolution of humanity? And that's the most important thing.
It's interesting you say that, because I know before I channel, I prepare myself in more ways than one. And one of them is the chakras, the meditation, opening the space, asking for only light and goodness of higher source. And I know if anything that does come, it won't come into my energy field at all anymore. However, I always get names. I do get names if it's Archangel Michael or whatever, because they want that message to be given to somebody. Otherwise, when I do pure channeling, it's just of pure source, of pure light. A lot of my book was written like that, of just pure channeling. But I'm like you too. I agree. There's certain forms that you take on when you're channeling, depending on who you're working with as well. I think that is important, because some people respond to different types of channeling. If they can have a name put there, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
otherwise, it's nice just to have the flow of the light coming through, which is quite often what I have as well.
Yeah.
I do appreciate you talking about the cleansing too, because a lot of people don't realize that you need to live a clean life to be pure and get that pure source coming through.
Yeah.
And there is so many ways of detoxifying our bodies. And
Yes. But also, I'll just take this opportunity to mention that there's so many detoxes out there. I've come across many people offering detoxification and things like that. You also got to be discerning about what to choose as well, because some of it I feel, and you don't have to agree with this, but I feel some of it can be more harmful than good. Like, for example, the water diet, just go on a water diet for 2 weeks. I feel that's not necessary. I feel that's too much. But for me, for example, what works is intermittent fasting. So I go 14 hours to 16 hours without any food, just water. And then that's 8-hour window, I eat not whatever I like, but I eat like 2 main meals or 1.5. That's very nutritionally dense. So all my greens packed, seeds, and a lot of that stuff. And I drink a lot of things like that. That's avocado, spinach, kale, and actually, my husband got me that, so
I love what's in that, but I know I love those smoothies, and I love a good ginger boost too.
Yeah, so I think that's
ginger. Yeah,
ginger's superb too, and
I love my ginger.
I am offering a healing course that's starting in July. I thought I'd mention that too, because it's relevant to what we're talking about, and it's what the course is about. So it will help you to find inner source of light and connect with your heart, and also learn to self-assess and self-recognize where energy blocks exist in your system, and how to detox, how to get rid of it, because no one wants to hold that baggage for a long time.
No.
And so the more you let go of, the more you can take out of your energy field, the more you're going to be open to channeling. And I feel like when you want to channel, God will help you to do that. So you don't need to even try hard. You will be there in the right place, the right time, the right circumstances will present themselves to you, and you will just be an open channel. It's like a bamboo stick. You're open, you're hollow from inside, and then the voice comes through, the light, which sometimes comes as a code, by the way, and then you've got to interpret that code.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened in my book. So in deep state of dhyana, which means in Sanskrit, beautiful word, Sanskrit, dhyana means meditation, but it's a higher state of meditation where you are completely disengaged and disidentified with the egoic self and the mind self. And in that state, I'll get this message, I'll get an idea, I'll get a vision, but mostly words, a sentence. And I'm blown away at how concise and straight to the point these were received, and then I write them down, and that's kind of how it
came about.
Managed to write.
Interesting. Yeah, it really is how it comes through like that. We have very similar backgrounds. Like, we started young, and I didn't know I was channeling when I was young. I just thought, like you, I just thought I knew things, but as you grow and you develop and you start to go on that ascension journey, you change your way of living, and so therefore it becomes clearer. Like you say, it's a clearer source. It's a far more cleansed source as well, because you're changing your diet, you're changing the way you live, you're getting rid of programming, implants, that kind of thing. So your channeling becomes so much more clearer. And I love how when it does come through, like in the form of a book, it's just incredible, because it's there for a purpose, and it will continue to be there for some time, where people will be able to go and refer to it and get their answer for the day or their message received. And that's what is so magical and so beautifully blessed about channeling, is it's not for the moment, it's for any time or for any person.
Yeah, because I feel like we the ancient civilizations that have lived on Earth before us a long time ago, whether we go back to Amearea civilization, the Mayans, the ancient Egyptians, or at times of Atlantis, the people there that managed to survive, they left us these codes that were imprinted in various crystals and in gold even. Because gold can transmit codes as well. It's a conductor for, obviously electricity, I think, generating electricity or generating some source of energy, but also it carries codes and memory, and it's amazing to know that. Just learned that. And also crystals, we all know what power crystals have.
Yeah, absolutely. And so does copper. They use copper in arthritis patients.
Copper. Yeah,
copper's going to become one of the big metals for the 5D world. They're going to be using a lot more copper for
that's right. I've got copper here.
Yeah.
I really feel it when I wear them. And so it's important to surround yourself with all these tools. And remember, they don't do the work for you. They're tools to aid and help you. You've got to do the work. You've got to go in and do your work, and do a little bit every day. So don't do it all at once, and ask for divine guidance and help, and open yourself up, purify the channels, and you shall receive what you ask for.
Oh, absolutely. And when you're in touch with it every day, it's amazing the miracles that happen, the little messages that you receive during the day, and you go, oh, there it is again. They're just letting me know,
Absolutely. All the time.
Absolutely. So I can't see who's on the chat on Facebook, but there's 3 people, and we're getting loves and cuddles and hearts and things. And we've got Sally in the Zoom. If anyone wants to join the Zoom, you're welcome to speak with Heba direct. So I'm going to talk about there's one very special poem that always brings me to tears. And first of all, I want to share the picture, the artwork that goes with it, because it represents so much. The rainbow children.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Oh, it's so, if anyone can't see that, it's just, there's, every time I look at it, I see something different in it. For those that have the book, it is page 145, and it's called The Rainbow Children. Now, the thing about this is that what you don't understand is when you read these poems, there's layers and dimensions, and it's not until you read it 2 or 3 times do you really understand what's there, the message. But what I love about Rainbow Children is the fact that it's raw. It's very raw. Do you want to read it? And then
I don't mind. Yeah.
I'd love to hear how you read it. And then can you tell us how did that come through? What's the story behind that particular poem? Because it's one of my favorites.
Sure. So this is it's not the last one. That's one before last. Rainbow Children, long forgotten land of men, once pure, now desolate. Rise up, O man. Your precious lands awaits the return of her children, whom you will escort into the new earth, your rainbow children, those of the light of the new dawn of hope.
Beautiful, so beautiful.
So this is, I feel, so I'm going to say I feel, because when you receive a channeled message, you've got to write it down, and then you've got to bring in your left brain into it, which is analytical, masculine brain, and try and, really get the gist of the message. So I feel, I think it's quite clear that the message is about the new earth children, that the new children that are being born now in this day and time to help raise the consciousness of the planet. And in a way, sort of rescue humanity out of the dark ages.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're special children, and we're all special. We've all come
We're
here
all special, but these ones have the gifts that are coming through with them and the memory. They haven't got any programming or anything. It's pure memory.
Yes, they do. And you can see it from a very young age. Like I see children, I connect really well with children and animals. And when I look into these children's eyes, I can see it's like they know that you're a light worker.
Oh, absolutely.
And they speak through the eyes and through the heart. And I almost always feel like I want to tear up, and I don't care who they are. If I don't know them, if I see them somewhere,
I get like that.
I give them a hug, and I come up to them if they're open to it, and you can feel this really beautiful grounding energy, but also so ethereal. Like they're just very angelic, but you can tell how the matrix is trying to sort of get them plugged into the matrix, but they've got that resistance. So that's
absolutely. They're so protected, aren't they? That you can see protection around them. There's nothing going to bring any harm to them at all.
Yeah. So as a parent, if you have a child who is a rainbow child, and I don't like to go into labels too much and what's what, but if you feel like your child has a special ability, is he on a mission, my advice is to give them a lot of raw food and really look after their diet, and don't wait until they're older to talk about everything to them. Be open and let it all come out without pressurizing them. I talk to my children, 3 children, since a very young age about all this, and they know all about 5D and even their friends, when they talk to their friends about going to the cinema or something, sometimes they say, oh no, I just like to ground at home, or they've got these inbuilt I don't want to say beliefs, but in a way that kind of got a little bit from me, but that's inbuilt in them. And now my 3-year-old is like, he knows the food that's good for him and the food that's not good for him. And
well, it's instinctive in them too. They know what's right for them.
Yeah, that's true. So here the message is, rise up, O man, the land forgotten, land of men. So it is a land of men who once pure but now desolate. So it's the planet, the earth was once pure, because the earth is a live being. It's a fourth density being.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
And we treat it like it's, and I don't mean we here in this group, but in general, people treat it like, it's just, we just live here on this piece of,
oh, absolutely,
whatever. There's no real graciousness about our connection with Earth. And so this is a message to awaken man to this sacred earth that we live on, and to wake up, and to your precious lands await the return of her children. So this new wave of children that are coming, that Dolores Cannon spoke about.
Oh, yes.
Whom you will escort into the new earth. We're the adults that are going to escort these children into the new earth so they can do the work. And they're your rainbow children. Those are the light of the new dawn of hope. So without these new children, I don't know where, I don't see a promising future.
No, I really feel that, well, I did a whole video on channeling of the new earth children and who they are, how they are, what they're coming for. And they're coming to cleanse the earth and to make a new pathway for us. They're here to teach us. They're going to teach their own parents.
Yeah.
And, their knowledge base is going to be incredible. They're going to be very natural to source. They're not going to suit the old school system that's crumbling. They're going to have their own new school system. They're going to have their own way of doing things. You can't make them do anything because they are a free will. They are a free spirit. They are here to teach us and to show us the way and to bless Earth and give her a new chance. That's how I see them. And that poem really stuck out like that to me, that they're coming for a really big purpose. And it's interesting you say that they recognize you, because I had an incident recently in the supermarket, because I know they look at you, they know you're a light worker, they obviously see your aura. And this little baby was crying and carrying on in the trolley, and the mother was busy getting things from the shelf, and I just went, hello, you know, and all of a sudden he stopped crying, put his arms out to me, and the mother said to me, he never does that to a stranger.
Yeah,
and
I get that all the time.
And I was like, I'm not a stranger.
Yeah, I get that all the time as well. I didn't know why a long time ago when I just hold a child. I used to teach children yoga as well, but they weren't babies. They were ranged from 5 to 12-year-olds. But the parents would tell me, I don't know why they're so obsessed with you, and they said that they'll listen to you. Whatever you say, they'll do what you tell them to do.
Absolutely.
And I think I connect on the heart level with them, and you know, I'm always about tough love, so it's not like you can get
exactly
with me and do whatever you want, but yeah, it's love, it's pure love. And
it is, it's from, you feel it from here when you see the child. It's a different interaction. It's not this interaction, it's this interaction.
Definitely. There's no ego involved at all.
No.
And that's why a child can forgive easily, because a child doesn't use the left brain as much as an adult, and so they're in their right brain, which is the feminine side, which is, you know, their hearts. So they use their hearts, and they can easily forget. And if someone hurt them, they forget. They're very resilient, and they're very forgiving and accepting as well. So there's a lot we can learn, especially from the new wave of volunteers who are the rainbow children.
Yeah, well, they're
here to dismantle the matrix that we're in now. But we've got to do the work for them so that they come in and carry on that work that we've established for them. So we've got to protect them. That's our duty, to protect them, and not just our immediate children, but any child.
Any child. Well, that's why I think we'll start raising a lot of children in communities, and everyone will be part of the raising of the children, not just the direct family. It'll be all of us, like in times gone by, where you form communities and you raise these children. You all have a part in their lives, because they can learn so much and they can teach you so much. So the impact will be massive. Can you imagine what communities will be like in the future?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be amazing. So, you know, I visually see it, and it's like, oh my goodness, I've actually seen a lot of the rescued children coming back to Earth, and I've visually seen them and what they look like, and oh my God, they're just like pure angels.
Yes.
You can't describe what they're like, and they always make me get weepy and cry because they are so beautiful, such beautiful children.
And they are volunteers as well. They volunteered to.
Yeah, they did.
To awaken humanity. So it's not like they're paying for our sins or anything. It's their choosing. So they consider it a blessing that they were here to do this work and to enlighten humanity and to raise the awareness about the dark cult and the, you know.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because I feel like they are our true heroes.
Yes.
They're our true heroes that came and sacrificed their lives for us, and they come back as the beautiful new earth children to show us the way. So, you know, it's that whole circle of life thing again. And it's just, that's why your poem means so much. I don't think people realize the dimensions of it and the depth. And probably you didn't know as you channeled it, just how many layers there are to that poem.
Yes.
It's
There's
like
more layers to it.
Yeah, there is.
It's according to each person's level of consciousness and awareness, they'll see a certain dimension of understanding from the poem. And the more we open up, the more dimensions we're going to.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't see anyone on Facebook. If anyone's on Facebook, please comment. People coming and going.
Yes, yeah.
So the next one is surrender.
What page is that?
64. For those that have the book, page 64. So this one I've read out as well, because it means so much to me about surrendering to your source, to your trust. And also, you know, if you don't learn to trust what you're hearing and seeing in your own life, you know, you really do need to surrender, because your higher self is never going to set you wrong. If people were more in tune with their higher selves and their source, you know, they wouldn't be asking for help or support, because it's never ever going to set you wrong. And quite often I tell people, you know, I'm going out into the world to do things, and that's, well, how can you do this, and so forth. And I go, well, I'm just trusting.
Yeah,
I have surrendered everything, and just pure, it's under pure trust. I haven't taken an income for what, 2.5 years.
Surrender. Yeah, no, absolutely. I see your work and I follow you.
Oh, thank you.
Out in nature, and how you can see things appear to you in nature, and that's because of the surrender attitude that you carry, and that's really, really important.
Well, it's about letting go, isn't it? It's letting go of everything that you once knew and recreating yourself into the true person you are. And then once you surrender like that, everything starts to fall into place. It's just pure joy to watch. You know, some days you have bad days, of course, we all do, but it's interesting leading your life this way. After someone like me who's come from 30 years of corporate world, even though I was still channeling and doing things in the background, it's amazing to watch you journey and others when you start to surrender. So I'm going to read it this time. I want you to hear how I read it. Okay. So it's called Surrender, and it's called the heart to the mind is what the flame is to the candle. The surrender of the candle to its burning flame is what keeps it lit, like that. The mind must surrender to the heart's flame or risk remaining in the dark. It's just what we spoke about.
Beautiful, yeah.
I know, it makes me cry. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so, you know, it's telling you, it's source telling you the heart to the mind is what the flame is to the candle. You know, I like candles. Actually, I haven't got one going at the moment, but I always have candles going.
Yeah,
exactly. And you know, it's the surrender of the candle to its burning flame. It trusts the flame and the candle that it's going to do itself.
And because it trusts, it melts with it, and they melt together. And the melting of the candle is what keeps it lit. If it didn't yield, you would have a rock, and nothing will happen. But because of the surrender of the wax of the candle to the flame, that's what makes it a bright lit candle, isn't it?
It's
dark and
it's so true.
Absolutely nothing. And so that is what the heart is to the mind. The heart to the mind is the mind needs to surrender to the heart.
Absolutely. The heart will not lead you wrong. Believe me, I've been leading with my heart for the last 2.5 years, and I still haven't gone wrong yet, but I trust that I'm in the right place at the right time doing the service that I'm meant to be doing. And if we all do this and understand what surrender means, and this is what Source is telling you, you're sovereign, you're free. Surrender everything that you were programmed with and once knew, because once you let go of all of that and you have that pure light and trust, you know, you're going to have an amazing life. You're going to have a journey like no other. It's just, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also the last 2 years of, I call it the COVID, you see. All the nonsense we've been exposed to. But it's for a reason. It's good.
Oh, it is.
We've really come to as a collective, a whole new level of understanding, and really managed to find ourselves. A lot of people have managed to find themselves and connect with spirit through the 2 years of, you know, psychological torment, and you know, a lot of people have been affected. Some people haven't, but a lot of people have been, and it's up to us what to make out of it. So I try to use these opportunities as catalysts for growth, and so what the 2 years were meant to me is surrender as well, and surrender to what may be out there, opportunities, or even every day, look for an opportunity. If it doesn't present itself to you, look for an opportunity. Even just going out, meeting someone who may know someone and introduce you to, you know, maybe your next employer.
Absolutely.
Right. You know, and so the book was to me like that. And that's how I met also my twin flame, is because I surrendered to divine guidance, and I stayed in the place where I was told to stay, and he came. So it's really that simple. But you know, you've got to really have no inkling of, absolutely no mistrust in the universe. Like, you can't say one thing and feel another. It's got to be a deep feeling from within, and a deep sense of surrender and trust. And you know, and the universe knows, and the universe responds to that by giving you an opportunity that is going to help you, going to be a catalyst for your growth and evolution, or whatever that is that you seek in life. So yeah, then back to that poem, like that, the mind must surrender so the heart's flame, or risk remaining in the dark. Because if we don't surrender, we at the mercy of someone else telling us what to do.
What to do, exactly.
If you don't trust yourself, can you trust others, or can you expect others to trust you? I believe the answer is no, because you don't even trust yourself. So how are you going to trust your partner? If you don't trust yourself, can you trust your partner? Can you trust your child? No. And for me, surrender is a great thing, because in Sanskrit, a beautiful word is samarpan, the surrender in Sanskrit. So practicing yoga means practicing surrender, and being in the now, and living in the now, and just accepting what comes and arises in the now, and making something out of what comes up, and not being in the future or the past. And so when you're in surrender mode, you're in your divine feminine, and it's not a gender thing. This is an aspect of God. So God has two aspects, divine feminine and divine masculine. And so when you are in surrender, you are in the divine feminine of God consciousness. And so if someone was to come and tell you, do this or do that, you go back to your heart, and you trust your heart's guidance, and you know what to do, whether to follow that person and connect with them or not. And so it's a really beautiful journey that unfolds from surrender, learning how to surrender. Surrender for me meant that I could have a better relationship with not just my partner, but also my children, because trusting myself means I trust them, and they know it. And so trusting them, letting for example, my son go out now, he's 15, and he goes out, and sometimes I don't know where he's going. But I say to him, I trust you, and I really, really trust you. And I'm saying it from deep within my heart. And so I often get messages from him say, Mum, just letting you know, you don't need to worry. Yeah. I'm here. And he'll let me know. And I don't even ask him. And he says, I love you. And you know what it means to get that from a 15-year-old? Like, I know,
that's big. My 15-year-old.
That's like, whoa. Yeah. And I get that on a daily basis. And I think that that attitude of surrender has got me to a point where I can just sit and rest and not worry about what's happening, and know that everyone's looked after, including myself.
I have to keep reminding people, you know, you are protected, you are being looked after. Just remember that, you know. Yes, remember we are all protected. Mm-hmm. I've never felt so protected in my entire life. In fact, the other night I went through some real resistance with pain, and I was releasing a lot of DNA stuff, which we're all doing at the moment, purging. And I'll tell you what, was worse than contractions. And I just yelled to the angels. I said, Raphael, Michael, whoever, come in. And I could just feel my room surround itself in angels. And I just felt so protected and loved. Today I'm walking perfectly normal and fine. It's healed. Amazing. You know, it's all gone. I did the work, I did the affirmations. I had to look deep and do some shadow work, which was horrible. But, you know, this is part of surrender. This is part of trusting yourself and knowing that you have to go through these things to continue your journey, to understand your own self. And it does go deep. Like I said, for people that are reading this book, Please understand how dimensional it is with these poems, because we can talk about each poem for probably a good hour or two, because every one has so much to it. On Facebook, we've got Jeanette from Canada. She says, I'm here, wonderful information. We've got Sarah from New Zealand. She's going, hi, happy birthday, hon. It's her birthday today too. Happy birthday, sister.
Happy birthday.
Happy arrival day to Earth. We're so pleased you came. We're pleased she came. So guys, Sally is on the call here. Do you have anything that you would like to talk or share, or there's some chat going on here? Let me have a look. She said, thanks for having me. So if you want to share anything from this beautiful book, please put it there and we can read it out. Before I ask about another one, I've got a beautiful review and message for you from the beautiful Teresa in New Zealand.
Oh, thank you so much. I've got an email from Teresa as well.
Oh, good. All right. Well, yeah, I'll read you mine and then you can read me yours, because it's amazing that I put it out there, you know, if you want to join us. And she said, oh, look, I'm doing so much purging at the moment. You know, she said, I'm really struggling today. And I thought, well, I was struggling on the weekend. Anyway, she came through and she said, I would really have loved to have joined the Zoom, but anyway, she says, I wanted to join your Zoom with Heba today, but geez, feeling unwell. And she went on about her body and she said, I feel so sorry for her because we're all going through it at the moment. She said, it's a cold, gloomy day in New Zealand and she was going to go back to bed. But she said, I have Heba's gorgeous book. The poems, channeled messages and artwork are beautiful beyond measure. And resonance. When I first got her book, it opened onto page 93, Alexia. So we have to read 93, Alexia.
Yes.
The glorious artwork soaked into my being and the words stroked a chord within my soul. I so needed that particular message that day as I was feeling out of sorts. It gave me hope, light, and reminded me of who I really am. Her book is magical and I always find what I need at the time I need it. How does she do that?
Oh.
Again, dimensional. It's so dimensional. The words and the messages convey so much. They are more than mere words. The depths and the meaning stirs forgotten memories, triggers feelings, hidden knowledge, wisdom within. Brings about healing, love, and understanding of selves and others. She is an inspiration, a true blessing to us all. Thank you, Amearea, for bringing her and her light for all of us to see. Love you. I'm going to try and go back to sleep.
That's beautiful.
I cried when I got it.
I think she should write a book.
I know. I cried when I got it. So that poem was page 93 for all of you. So do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
I can read it if you like.
All right, well, let's hear you read it because I love to see how your vision of it comes through.
So it's called Elixir. Oh, downtrodden soul, do not despair. Continue on your journey of self-discovery. Be relentless in your endeavors and look farther beyond the simple fleeting pleasures of your binary existence, and you shall find an immortal fountain of magical sweet nectar, the elixir of your immortality. So there's a lot of, I think this one's very rich in meaning, but I love the word elixir because to me,
I was just going to say,
yeah.
I love it. It's just, and the picture next to it, guys, remember I've held this up before and shown it to you. It's just stunning.
Yeah. I wanted this picture because this picture represents what comes out of the soil, and here there's a rose carrying like a shape of a globe, which could be interpreted as a earth or as a pearl, or round the shape, the circle represents eternity or infinity.
Yeah.
Mortality as well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, every geometrical shape is sacred and has a meaning behind it. So when you connect with shapes, sacred shapes, sacred geometry, you can get a lot of, you can feel the multidimensionality of our existence in the shape. And so you've got to really go beyond just the 3D matrix interpretation of it and look at what that shape represents. So in my vision, it represents eternity. That's what
yeah, exactly.
you keep going round and round, and it never stops. And so, oh, downtrodden soul, do not despair. And I think I've kind of, when I was writing that, I was tearing up as well, because a lot of people are on the verge of despair or already in despair and have been in despair for some time. And what I want to say is, do not be in despair. Continue on your journey of self-discovery, because what may appear as despair, hopelessness, the end of the world, that's it, no more hope, is actually redefining you as a new beginning. But we can't always see it. We don't always recognize it for what it is. So it may appear as though we're in a destructive state, but you're just destructing the elements, the aspects of you that no longer serve. So it's a shedding, a purging, and it's a catalyst for growth and change. So when you reach that point of hopelessness and mere despair, always think, well, where am I heading? What is it that I need to redefine in my life? Could it be that I need to change a job? Could it be that I need to, you know, maybe redefine my relationships, change my home, my residence, go into nature, look after my body, my mind? What is it that I need to redefine in my life? And continue on the journey of self-discovery.
It's such a beautiful journey too, self-discovery. I don't think people realize how powerful it is, right?
It is. It's all about learning, self-discovery. And like I said, there is no bad. When you hit a point where you feel despair, ask yourself, what can I change, and how can I redefine myself? And it's okay if we feel like it's a destruction process, because that's what it feels like. It does feel like we're destroying ourselves, but we're really destroying, like I said, aspects that no longer serve our highest good. And so be relentless in your endeavors. So do not give up. Relentlessness is not giving up.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's interesting because it's a whole surrender again. You know, it's bringing in that surrender of yourself. And, you know, so many of us look back at our lives and we go, who was that person 10 years ago? And now we've done this whole self-discovery journey, and we're in love with ourselves again, like we were when we were first arrived here on earth.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
It's a beautiful, it's the words are just, you know, it's empowering.
That's be relentless. Do not give up. You can be inspired by the smallest things in life. I have a parsley plant. I've had parsley seeds in the soil out in one of the pots, and I thought it died, and you know, went down to seed and all that, so it died. And then I think I put cactus or something in there, or can't remember if it's one of my succulents. And anyway, it went well for a few years, and then the kids are playing basketball outside, and they knocked it down, and it came out of the roots. So I took it and I planted it in the ground. So it was a bare pot for a while. But then as I went out last week, I seen the parsley come back out, and it was like, who did that? Like, then I'm thinking, oh, that's like years ago. I put a few seeds in there, and not thinking much of it, and now they're back. So that's what relentless means, is that you don't give up just because someone took a position, your position in life. Doesn't mean the door's closed for you. There's something else awaiting. You just have to redefine your thinking, redefining your mindset. Perhaps it's not the right path for you. So don't hesitate to close the door and go find another door, surrender, and that door will make itself known to you. You just open and walk in, and it will feel like the right thing to do. And the message here as well is look farther beyond the simple fleeting pleasures. So a lot of us are stuck on the object senses level in this hierarchy of creation, and we don't always endeavor to go higher than that. We look at our living, our lives as just what can we get out of it, what can make us feel
People
good.
don't look ahead or up. They only look what's in front of them.
They only look at what's in their immediate surrounding and what can I make out of it. But not many of us do look beyond a binary existence, which is just the repetitive cyclic life of, you know, sleep, eat, go to work, pay the bills. And so look beyond those fleeting pleasures, because fleeting is the key word here.
It's a good word, fleeting.
They're quick, okay? Quick. They come in and go out of your life very, very quickly. So that's not something to hold on to. And if you do want to hold on to it, try and grab it. Try run after your shadow. Try and grab your shadow. It's impossible. You may think you've got a grasp of it, but it's only a matter of time, and it's, again, fleeting again. And so you shall find an immortal fountain. So if you look beyond the binary of your life, you'll find an immortal fountain. Okay? This is the place where all souls come from, an immortal fountain.
Well, we are immortal.
We are, but that's what we forget. So if we remember we are, then this body is no longer anything that you would necessarily identify with. And you go beyond that self-identification, bodily identification, and you really find your true self, and you find the magical sweet nectar, okay, of the elixir of your immortality. That's what the elixir is. It is magical sweet nectar.
Absolutely. And you can see how, if you're in a upset way or something's not gone right for you during the day, and you, like Teresa said, she opened it and she read this message, it was so in your face and layers, you know, like, come on, you know, you're getting told here. And this is why I don't think people understand the layers and the messages that we're receiving from it, because
I think a lot of people who purchase the book do understand the layers. And I'm grateful. That's why I didn't make too much of an effort to market my book, and because
it'll find the right people, and the right people will
find the people.
Absolutely.
The people don't find the book. The book finds the people, and so just like the crystal finds you. Have you noticed when you pick a crystal, it's looking at you in the eyes?
Yeah.
Saying, do not leave before you take me with you. I always do a ritual when I bring in a new crystal, a new plant in the house. I always treat it like a newborn baby, or someone who we've just adopted.
A new member to the family.
Yes, well, that's how we ought to look at life, is from that multidimensional view.
Absolutely.
It appears to be inanimate object. It doesn't mean that it's got no sensations or feelings, or, you know, a plant can feel. A plant right now, as we're speaking, the plant is feeling the vibration of this, you know, they can't understand the words that are being spoken, but they know the nature of the words. And they
go by frequency, plants.
Yeah, they do, vibration and frequency.
Because I play high frequency music to the tree out here, and it's multiplied and growth ×3 in probably the last year. In fact, it almost died in storms. It got blown over and pulled out by the roots, and I was really upset, and the guy downstairs put some wood up and leant it up against the fence and saved it. And I played the high frequency music, and it's recovered. It's gone even better than before. Yeah. So
they're relentless. So they're here to teach us a lesson, is never give up. Every year I go to India, I come back, half of my plants die, even though there's someone here watering them. But because the frequency changes, and it's hard for life, I guess, plant life to adapt to the change.
Adjustment, isn't it? Again, it's
adjustment. And so I come back and I talk with her, and I say, I'm back, and it takes time to, and then often, more often than not, they're back, in full action and thriving again. But yeah, they do. They have this, there's an invisible layer of consciousness that exists between us and all life forms. And we don't see it because we've only been given these eyes, which are just to interpret only a limited frequency or limited light. So we often forget that we're connected on so many levels.
I just think you're right about the levels too of connecting with nature. It's not until you're walking in nature itself. If you're walking through, native bush or trees or whatever, it's not until you actually get in depth with them and you feel the energies, like when I go on my nature walks, and it's not until I just get to the entrance and all of a sudden it's like a portal. It hits you. You can feel the energy. And, this is what it's about, is understanding who we are as immortal beings and being able to be like the tree, rest your third eye against it, understand their energy, send messages to each other, because this is how Earth is going to work in the future. This is the new way we're going to do things. And it's just beautiful. Sally's got a message. She said, I would just like to share how beautiful the energy I'm experiencing is from just being here watching. Smiley face.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sally. Our Sally is just so beautiful. It's beautiful, radiant aura when she enters the room, and
I can feel it actually. If I'm enjoying having her in the room, actually, just sitting there, because it's a nice balance. Sometimes if you get the incorrect balance, it doesn't always work in the room, but it feels beautiful. Yeah, you feel it. Sarah's just said, lovely to listen to you on my birthday. It's raining and stormy here. She's in New Zealand. It's good to go inwards on my rebirth day. Well, we're glad to be able to deliver this to you as a gift from us.
Yes. Glad to hear. Beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I don't think there's any more questions. So let's just run through where to from here with you and what you're doing with your life. I believe you're doing some courses or some online training.
Yeah, I've actually been doing spiritual mentoring for a while, for a few years, and during 2 years of lockdowns, I've done a lot of online courses, so it gave me that confidence to go online. Otherwise, I'm a person who likes the old-fashioned way of doing things, having people around me, and we sit in a circle, and we do all this stuff. But this one I'm delivering face-to-face. It's called Healing the Inner Child course. It's an 11-week course. 7 July, I think the start date. Yeah, 7 July, and it's on a Thursday night, 6:45 to 8:15. So it's an hour-and-a-half session and goes for 11 weeks.
What time zone is that?
6:45 p.m.
Yeah, is that live on Facebook or live?
No, this is face-to-face, but I've had a lot of people who have asked if
you're going to do it on Zoom or
offer a Zoom, and online. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm considering that it's most likely going to be a yes. So I will set up my cameras so you can see the room from all angles.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be good.
Or I'll just dedicate another night and do online.
Yeah, do a separate one, because the online interference into the room could adjust the energy a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't had an issue with that before. I've done a few of them, but I feel like the people online tend to be a little bit reluctant to ask, or so you're right, might have to do a separate, like I said, depending on the numbers that I've got. If there's too many, I'll start a new night, but because it's a lot of energy output, I tend to just sort of only do what I really need to do. And but yeah, it's about transforming the inner child. So I've had to do a lot of work with that myself, and I found it to be incredibly healing and incredibly beneficial. And it's when I heal the inner child that I've met my twin flame. So it's kind of like, and a whole new dimension of yourself opens up. and then you find yourself more in you adapt a surrender attitude, and when you're in surrender attitude, I believe that's when we meet our twin flames.
Twin flame, absolutely.
To encounters that are really divine encounters. We tend to, not just a twin flame, but even your soulmate, even a good partner. Like there's, not all of us have twin flames or soulmates, even a good partner, someone who you want to manifest in your life. You've got to really come from a position of fulfillment and wholeness. And you've got to really do the work, the healing work, not from a place of scarcity and neediness. So that's really important if you're on that path of manifesting that one special person in your life. So
absolutely,
this course will offer you opportunity to become aware of your energy blocks, navigate your inner child, and bring the past experiences into light. And a lot of people stop at that stage because it's hard. It's hard being confronted with what had happened to you as a child, and changing that mentality of I'm not a victim, I'm a creator, and I'm going to use that, whatever's happened to me, as a catalyst for change and growth.
I think that's so important these days, because so many people put them in the category of being a victim, and you've got to really surrender that again and let that go before you can move forward into your journey.
Yeah, otherwise you'll really be stuck and you won't move forward. So remember that poem 64, surrender. Is it 64? Page 64.
94.
Anyway, it's in the 60s, isn't it? Surrender, 64, maybe 64. Anyway, keep that in mind. It'll come up when you need to hear it. But surrender, just like the
64.
Just like the wax surrenders to the flame. Allow your mind to surrender to your heart, and go within and bring that child. Hold the hand of you, the child. Bring him or her to the present time. And tell the child it's okay and things will be fine and you are not the victim. And there's all these purging tools and things to learn, enhancing relationship with others and yourself, enhancing vital energy via energetic vortices. So that's your chakras, yogic philosophical concepts to integrate into your life so you can reach optimal health and well-being. Learn to expand and utilize the universal laws of energy or the universal laws of nature. Learn to harness tools for spiritual empowerment. Learn to balance intuition and rational mind. So this is your divine feminine and the counterpart masculine.
Oh, beautiful, yeah.
And merge the two together. So that's an inner job. Before it's an outer job, before we seek it out there, we have to find it within, find the divine feminine, masculine, and do the alchemical process from within first. And what you manifest within you, what you do within, becomes your reality on the outside. So you start within before you rush out there and try and find that perfect counterpart or the perfect match. You need to go within and do the work within first. And so I cover all that, and I give practical tools, and we do practices, a lot of practices.
That's good because it's in the room, right? So you're doing it sort of in a more physical, sort of practical way.
Both, yeah. So there's theory, about 70% of the content, and there's 30% practice. And I offer part of the course, I give a physical manual as well, and beautiful manual, and which you can keep, and there's worksheets in it, so you can refer to that at any time in your life. So learn tools to manifest and create in your life, and yogi cleansing methods to reach optimal health and gain knowledge of self-awareness, tools to reach highest spiritual God self. Reach that highest spiritual God self. So yeah.
Wow, you're really covering some really cool stuff. I mean, this is stuff that needs to be covered now. It really is. It's like you've had a calling to do this in the divine timing. This is where we're heading with our our self-discovery and our journeys now. So it's a very important time to, how are people going to reach you to sign up?
So what you need to do is just shoot me an email or a message, and I will get your email address and send you the information sheet. And then it's just all self-explanatory in there, how to register and how to, pay and all that. So, and it's pretty affordable for what I give. It's really affordable, and there's a payment plan so you can pay it off. It's under 500, so, and it goes for 11 weeks, and it works out
Yeah,
to be
exactly.
a session, which is like an hour and a half. If you were to go see a healer or do a one-on-one, or if you were to go get a massage, you'd pay double that amount. So
absolutely.
That's healing for life. You don't go back and forth on it. Once you've healed, you move on. So it's not just about healing and connecting with the inner child. It's also learning ways to manifest in your life and make your reality and shift your reality, make change, to shift those energies that we often experience as stagnation. So yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And I got guided by spirit to write it up. I wrote the content of the table of content in 2 hours.
Wow.
Because I was fully guided, and
you were flowing. It was coming through. You can't stop it when it's like
and
that.
I couldn't stop it, and I really felt the resistance. My mind wanted to say no, this, but my heart said no, and my hands were typing, and I could not believe. Yeah, anyway, it's just too much.
It's incredible how it came through, isn't it? It's so strong that has to be put out there. It's like when I do some of my workshops that I even get told through channeling what date and time.
Yeah.
It's just connected to so many energies, and this is what it's about. Again, surrender to what is to come through for you in service as a teacher, as a light worker, as a guide to others. It's just beautiful, the work you're doing. And like Teresa said, you're a blessing to so many people through your poems and through the work you're doing. We all really appreciate you. So many of my sort of following have just, gone out and got the book. As I said, they haven't come directly to you. Some of them are going to Amazon and other sites, but it's just beautiful to see that when you find something that's so meaningful, and to be able to relate to in these energies is really helpful to so many people. And that's what it's about, getting the messages out and being able to help others. And you've certainly done that. That's for sure.
That's my one mission, is to be of service, and whatever that looks like,
Exactly. It's all about surrender, trust.
We all have that though inbuilt within us. So, there's a Ra, the channeled messages of Ra. The channeler Don asked Ra, who's a sixth density being, or a collective unity consciousness, I should say, memory complex, asked if how many people do you need to serve in order to be considered on the path of positivity, or they call it service to others. And Ra said, to serve one is to serve all, and that one can be you. As long as you're serving yourself light, and as long as you're heading towards the direction of light and the understanding of unity consciousness, and not going back and deactivating your DNA, then you are well and truly on the path of service to others. So to serve one is to serve all. It's not about the numbers, it's serving one person. So if you're working on yourself right now, you're of great aid to humanity. If you are there for your children, you are of service to humanity. If you can serve more people, then good. Go out and help in whichever way you can. But don't forget that also by having clear, pure thoughts about people, sending positive vibrations out, that's service as well.
Absolutely. You must love everyone, whether they've done you wrong or not. You must be able to forgive them and yourself and send out that love vibration, because that's what makes the world better place we want it to be. And I agree, you know, I always, before I put a video out or a live, I always say it's going to help one person, I'll be happy, because that's the service role. It's not about the numbers, it's not about the subscribers, it's about if I can help one person and then I've done my service for the day. That's my role, you know.
Yeah.
I truly, truly believe that. Manel's on, your beautiful sister. She says, hi, ladies. Okay, well, I think that's probably going to bring us to an end. Is there anyone else on Facebook? There's 5 on at the moment. If you have any last minute questions, please put them in the comments. I want to do something for you now. I'm getting a message and I want to share it with you as a channeling. I'm getting told by Mary Magdalene, of all people, she said that she's going to be working alongside you during this session that you're going to be doing for 11 weeks. She said the 11-11 is a very important time for you. It's a growth and expand time for many. Many are going to be blessed through the session. And one thing for sure is that it is of pure source.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
She came through this morning. She came and she was telling me that she wanted to leave a message, and she said to let you know that they're working with you through you on this, and it's going to be a very important time. It's going to do very well. It's going to help many.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, thank you. So thank you everyone for being here and for purchasing my book. But I would also have a small request, if you can just write a review on any of, so if you go to Booktopia, you'll find my book. You can even leave a review there, even though it's the soft cover that's being sold there, not the hardcover, but still the message is one. So, but if it'll be actually ideal if you can go to my website, www.echoearthyoga.com. I'm using this website for the time being while I'm constructing my other website, which is going to be Collective Rising, which all my spiritual guidance will be through, and we're going to sell on Collective Rising, quantum healing technologies, detoxification. Even people who have taken the jab and they want to detox, we've got also methods there to detox, very and effective, that have been well researched and the best in the world, I believe. And we're going to have all these technologies there. There's a lot of stuff readily available and free to download from our website. So it's huge. It's going to be a platform where you can go and find mind, body, soul stuff, and it'll be the only thing you will need to look, the only place to look. So this is where I'll be selling my book and promoting it, but for now I'm using Echo Earth Yoga because it's already it's already published website. But do send me a message to Facebook if you have any specific questions or interested in spiritual guidance and mentorship.
Yeah, they can contact you that way as well. It's interesting, you know, when we're in service for people that are listening on YouTube or something later on, we are always available. We're not far away. We will contact you when we see that you're reaching out to us because we know it's important. So remember that we are in service as light workers. We're here to help you just as much as you're here to help us.
We're very happy to do it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah's just come back to me and she said, can you please read one more poem? And I want to read for Sarah because she's very special to me. The very first poem I opened up in your book that I read that meant so much to me. So for people that have the beautiful book, The Journey of the Awakening Heart, go to page 29 and it's called Your Heart. Okay, keep me in your heart, for your heart is my treasure box. Its keys guarded by the water creatures of the ocean depths. How beautiful is that? And when I first, it brings me to tears now. I can't help myself. Every time I read it, I just get all emotional and I think, oh my God, this is so much what we're about. And 5D is our heart.
Yes. Yeah.
And then for you, Miss Sarah. So Manel's just said that's my favorite poem.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, isn't it amazing? The first time I opened it, I opened it and the first page that opened was that, and I was like, oh my God, I knew the book was going to be good.
I find people resonate with these short messages as well, and that's one of the shorter ones. I actually, if we have time, I want to read one as well. One more, but it's a
absolutely. This is what this is for, this channel. Go for your life.
And yeah, this one's really special. Yes, so keep me in your heart, for your heart is my treasure box. So, treasure box, your heart, keep me in your heart is my treasure box. So there's a recognition here that the two hearts are one heart.
And that's how it is with those new earth children when you see them, that heart connection. It's just one heart coming together.
And the keys are guarded by the water creatures of the ocean's depths. So what is meant here, I think, when you go deep into the ocean's depths, you can find real treasure there, but also things that are buried in the ocean's depths tend to be eternally in the same place, remain hidden from corruption, untainted, uncontaminated.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's why you get the purest things from the ocean. What comes out of the ocean is generally very pure, very well protected. And that's why the dolphins and the whales,
mermaids and the codes are down there. Absolutely.
And so, by keeping me in your heart, your heart is my treasure box. That means it's going to be treasured and revered for all eternity. And there's that recognition of I suppose, oneness beyond the veil of matter. So when we remove that curtain, we can really connect on a deep level. And I think this is more meant for, I think, a twin flame or a soulmate, or someone who is that special someone where the two hearts are one heart. And I feel that with my specific case, with my husband, my twin flame, we talk in many ways, more than, sometimes verbal communication is not enough. So sometimes we have to stop, pause, and just look at each other and just let the heart do its work. And
do the talking between
the what he wants to say, what I want to say is often the exact same thing. And we often find ourselves sometimes reaching for the same object at the same time. And just random things like, things you wouldn't think about all the time, like food or something at the exact time. And, there is that deep resonance that is within us all. Once we connect to that wave of vibrational frequency, we can all talk to each other in that way. So when you are protected, when you're in someone's treasure box, means it's the most revered thing in their world.
Oh, there's so much treasure in there.
Such an honor to protect it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But there's more layers to it. We could go on for a long time talking about this. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Sarah said, I will keep you. It's obvious because I found you again, Amearea. Well, Sarah and my story goes right back to Atlantis. We were together in Atlantis. We were together as Palladians, as Galactics. We were together in Egypt. We've had so many past lives as sisters and things. And it's interesting how we recognize people in this new earth that's forming by vibration. Again, it's by frequency and vibration. And she heard one of my videos and she knew immediately, she knew the voice. She said, I know that person, and this is what we're doing. We're connecting to the heart because you're still in the heart from past lives, and this is like you say, you recognize your twin flame through the heart, not through these eyes, through here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really important that that's what that poem is saying. It's what you see through the heart, not through the eyes. And I always tell people, if you want to read or understand something, use this and that third one, not these two, because they will fool you. You got to go with the intuition and the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I want to read one more.
All right.
Just find it 1 second. So how many women do we have in this?
We have 5 online and Sally in the room.
So in that case, I would like to read Awakened Woman and Awakened Man. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay. So an awakened woman desires a different kind of connection, one which makes her heart, mind, body, and soul dance synchronously to the song of love and sing ecstatically to the dance of life, the one she calls a play. Sing and dance with her unreservedly, fearlessly, and she will always desire you with every fiber of her being. So that's the awakened woman nowadays wants more than just a superfluous, superficial connection. An awakened woman desires a deep kind of connection that ignites her soul flame. You know, that what that means is that that's the creative aspect, God aspect within us, and that's our creativity. And she makes her heart, one who makes her heart, mind, body, and soul dance to the song of love and sing to the dance of life, sing ecstatically to the dance of life, not just sing, but sing in ecstasy to the dance of life. The one she calls a play, because women are playful. Women want someone who, they desire a connection with someone who brings out that playful attitude in them and make them laugh or smile. And that's why women connect with a counterpart mostly with the counterpart who often makes them laugh and cry.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Experience the whole spectrum of emotions, but mostly laugh and express themselves through laughter.
Well, they don't need to feel so guarded.
Yeah, so they can let loose and they can be vulnerable. That's what we're made of. We're meant to be vulnerable and allow those aspects of ourselves to come out into the light. For an awakened man who is conscious and who can hold space for us. So it's very important that this is understood how it's meant to be understood. And I think that can trigger a lot of emotions for women who, you know, don't necessarily have that connection with perhaps a person who they're with or desire that and they're not yet to find it. But if you haven't found that yet, find it within you first, because we all are made of 2 aspects and they're both just as enriching and powerful and profound and significant. And the male aspect, which is the masculine and the feminine, and they need to be supporting each other, helping each other. Even our organs are made of 2 energies, the masculine and the feminine, and we need to bring balance and harmony within our organs so that we can be healthy and reach optimal health and well-being. So really important for, I feel, a woman to have that in her firstly, and then if it happens and she can manifest that person, but she has to become that person first, and then it will happen in the external reality. So sing and dance with her unreservedly and fearlessly. She wants to be held in a safe space where she can be trusted and she can be herself and express herself without fear of being judged. And she'll always desire you. So that's, I feel, the highest and most important thing for a woman, is the space that is made available for her so she can be herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the gist of the message from that. And now Awakened Man.
What page are we looking at?
Oh, so that's page 108 now.
Okay.
So an awakened man seeks after not only a woman's body, but her whole heart and soul. He desires a woman who is brave to love him fully and unconditionally, so he may do the same, protect and guard her heart as a king over his kingdom. He does not seek to manipulate or control, for he regards her highly as his equal, divine feminine, the queen of his heart, and thus stands up for her, with her, and by her, every step of the way, inspiring all men to love the same way.
Wow.
So
beautiful.
This is a conscious man that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And yeah, a conscious man nowadays is a man who no longer desires just a woman or a woman's body, but her whole heart and soul, and someone who will love him fully and unconditionally without judging, trying to change a man, but just accept him the way he is. And in return, she will feel protected and guarded. He will protect her heart as a king over his kingdom. So it's priority for the man to protect the woman's heart. He does not seek to manipulate, because that's a sign of a weak man who manipulates.
Like for control.
An unhealed person in general, so man or woman. He regards her highly as his equal, divine feminine. They have different roles, but he regards her as his equal, no less. And she's the queen of his heart and stands up for her, with her, and by her. So every step of the way as well, and inspiring all men to love the same way. So he's the leading the men.
Way shower. Yeah.
Way shower, conscious beings, for men specifically. So I really love how this just was channeled. And I remember that day I channeled them both on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so powerful, because men today don't know how to love. They don't really know, you know, I'm talking about unconscious men. They are so programmed about the false, as you say, the very sort of ones out there that look like the Kardashians, or, you know, you must have the big lips and the blonde hair, and it's all about the look. And, you know, for them to show the way and show the true love you can have through a heart-soul connection is far more powerful.
Absolutely. And I think that a great part of them remains unhealed, just like a woman as well. A lot of women are also trying to find their way, and it's very hard, because I know a lot of my friends and family and students who are on the path of finding their match, their counterpart, and they struggle. And I've struggled because you know, it's not, because you want someone conscious who matches vibration frequency. And for me, that was important, more important than just random connections. And so I didn't have anyone for a very long time, but that gave me an opportunity to work on myself. And when I did and healed that very last thing, well, I'm sure there's still some things that I need to heal, but I feel like I've come a long, long way. And that very last inner child healing that I've done, after that, just life shifted. And so it's really important for these men to acknowledge that they need healing too, and it's okay to ask for it. They've been programmed to always say we're fine, and never recognize their emotions.
That's right. They were taught, well, my generation, you know, the men were taught not to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's punishment to someone who needs to express their emotions, you know, and so this is what we're dealing with. All those old programs are now being removed, and this new man is stepping forward, and it's beautiful to watch, actually. You see the men that are really in tune and selecting their partner through heart love. And like you, I've been on my own for a long time now, and I won't accept anything less unless it's
good.
that soul connection. And it's interesting how you say that, you know, with the male and the female, it's all about just purely heart love and being able to sit and practice with your partner, sitting in the room in silence and just see what telepathic messages go between the two of you. That's where the test is, because that strength is very, very powerful.
Yeah.
If you can do that like you do with a tree or an animal, then you know you've got that true connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's so. Yeah, the more stuff you've got to talk about, the less it takes from really enjoying the feminine divine aspect of ourselves and which is our intuitive side.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know, we are programmed to follow the left brain, which is the masculine, the rational, analyze everything, analyze where we're going, what we're doing next, what's the plan for next year, when we're going to move, this new job, when's a promotion, when we're going to have kids. Some people even have plans for when they're going to have a kid in 4.5 years, in August.
Yes, exactly. And they already have their wedding plan before they've met someone, you know.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, it makes sense to have some sort of a plan, but to have specifics like that, to that point, that's to me a burden, really. Like, you know, I used to carry a diary and write everything in the diary, and now I have nothing. I don't write a diary. I don't have a notebook. I walk into my class to give a session and I've got no notes whatsoever. And I come in and I'm like, okay, hello, anyone's going to show up?
Like Mary said, you're going to be pure source. No notes.
No notes, that's it.
I know.
So, yeah, that's my message, is that, and my advice, and always is that, well, one, if you're teaching, if you're in an environment where you have to channel or you have to pass on the message, always be invisible. Take the egoic I out of the equation. It's not about you, it's about what's going to come through you. So put that aside, put your left brain on the side, and just access your right brain. So it's really important to access your subconscious, and you need to train yourself to access the subconscious brain. Because this is where the confusion can occur, is if you mix the messages, and sometimes it's coming from the ego. It's what the ego hopes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you've got to be very careful of, because you can see that happening on a lot of people. The ego gets in the way.
The ego gets in the way. So it's like when I'm here, I try to remind myself that's not about me. It's about what I'm giving. It's about the message. So I remain not indifferent because I care, but I remain unbiased and uninfluenced. And I try to stay out of it so that I can be a pure channeler of that divine source. So yeah, and that comes with trust and learning how to trust our abilities
and surrendering again. Go back to the word of surrender, because once you surrender, that's where that trust and that whole understanding of source comes, without any, and you learn to remove the ego and have it pure. And I always tell people, this is not a space for judgment. I don't judge. It's not my role to judge. It's no one's role to judge. It's all about letting go of the ego and just being in the present, being you, you know, being your immortal, beautiful, bright being self, what you came here to do.
Absolutely.
So, well, there's no more questions. So let's finish up today. Again, everyone who has not purchased the book, Journey of the Awakening Heart, again, beautiful, beautiful book. I can't praise it enough. I have actually read a poem nearly every time I've gone live on Facebook. I just love it. I open up a poem for the day now. It's sort of like a ritual I do every morning. Go, oh, which one am I going to read today?
Oracle cards. Like oracle cards.
It is. It's an oracle page. There you go.
But I want to say something about if you were to go to Booktopia or Amazon, you're not only getting the soft cover, which is fine if you prefer the soft cover, because you can bend it and toss it however you toss it and it stays fine. This one, you've got to protect it a bit more. It's hardcover. And but apart from that, you're also paying a little bit more for the book, and I actually don't make profit from it at all, from the soft cover. I think they sent me like $1.50 for like a couple
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. They make it for the retailers, the major retailers. So, and it's not about profit, but it'd be nice if I can, you know, it took between $6,000 and $7,000 to make the book, and so I had to budget for that, and it took a long time to actually come up with that sort of money and then put it all towards the printing of the book and the publishing, because I've used Green Hill Publishing. But what I was going to say is, if you buy it from my website, ecoearthyoga.com, you can get it delivered anywhere around the world. But just be mindful that there are the postage fees can be
$20,
$25.
Yeah.
Like in New Zealand, it was $18 and standard.
I know. It was the same for my book. I couldn't believe how much, even Europe, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't make those. I don't put those prices. That's
me neither. I went to Australia Post and got them and weighed the book and everything to find out the true postage amount.
Yeah.
And sometimes I gave people discount because I felt terrible. It was so high. You know, this is the thing, especially when we're doing it in service this way. We can't help some of the costs that gets involved, unfortunately. But, and not only that, coming to your website, coming to you directly, you're dealing with people's energy and you're finding out who's getting the book, where it's going.
Yeah, and I'm handling the book as well. So it's coming from my house, my environment, and I've got crystals, I've got beautiful energy around me. And so it's coming from this place, not from the printers. From you know, Booktopia or Amazon, and to you directly. It's coming from me, and I can even sign it for you. And I include a divider, which I've
still got mine, and I've got my little
color because it represents the energy of Saint Germain.
It's beautiful.
And a name tag, and it's all for $37.77. I just like the number 777. I've been seeing it a lot. So it's a number for manifestation for me. So that would go in the book and it'll be posted out to you.
And as Mary said, you know, you obviously work under that energy of 777, but you're also working under 1111. That's your new journey for your career. So that's interesting. I also want to take the time to thank everyone that's joined us on Facebook today, taking the time to listen to us. I do hope, you know, you've received some beautiful messages from us. Thank you, Sally, for joining us in the room and keeping the balance. We really appreciate it. It's beautiful to have someone new here. If there's any other questions and you want to follow up, you know where to find us both after today. And if there's anything that you do still want to continue talking about later on after this session, we can always follow up with you at another time, all right? No problem at all.
I really appreciate everyone being here today. And like I said, who bought my book and have left reviews. If you haven't left a review and you'd like to, go to ecoearthyoga.com and go to the book as though you're purchasing the book, even though you're not purchasing the book. But go to the cart, or before the cart, one step before the cart, and scroll down as though you're purchasing the book, and it will say, be the first one to review the book. It's like a little grey box. Click on it, and it'll be amazing if you can write your review.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people, I noticed there was another book out there that's Journey of the Heart as well. So there's a lot of heart stuff, and I just want this to be reviewed so people know what it's about. And hopefully.
Yeah, so make sure you review the right book. We really want that. Maureen from New Zealand has said thank you to you both. It's been beautiful to listen. She's working and listening to us.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you.
And she's about to purchase your book, she told me this morning. And Sarah's doing the hands, prayer hands. So thank you. Many of them.
Thank you.
We'll finish the live, guys. But again, if you want to catch up at some point, we may do something in the future together now that we've connected. We've made this something available to you all. We're all learning so much from these sessions, aren't we? I mean, it's just beautiful.
Always,
and it just rolls. It just so freely rolls. I love how the connection just, we bounce things off each other, and our understanding is very similar to each other's, what we're connecting with on source and the poem. So very, very good. Very beautiful energy today. I'm really feeling it. It's so relaxed and free of ego and just in a beautiful space. So,
yeah,
loving it.
And yeah, my love to everyone who's here with us today. And yeah, once again, thank you, and may you always be blessed and happy. Om Shanti.
And Tina is on from the US. She purchased your book and she's going to get 3 more. She says, hi, everyone. Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Thank you again. I will finish the live stream anyway here. And guys, we will put this up on YouTube if you want to watch the replay. It will be up hopefully later today or tomorrow or something like that. So you won't miss out.
Beautiful. And I want to thank you personally, Amearea, for reaching out and finding me and connecting. And yeah, I love your energy and everything you do. So yeah,
thank you so much.
Cross paths with you.
I know, it's been beautiful. It's like we're sisters or something. There's some connection there.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm saying live to bye-bye to everyone on Facebook. Take care,
bye,
everyone. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
So I've stopped the live.
That's an hour-and-a-half session. That's pretty good.
It was good. It was beautiful. So if you want to sort of continue doing something later in the future, yell out, let me know how your course goes. I'd love to hear and get some background on that as well, and how you are going with other things. Let's stay in touch. Let's get,
absolutely.
Let's get our work out there, because you know, the things that we do together and the things that we do separately are helping so many people, and that's our service role, right? So
now, the one thing that I just got told now, and it's by I just received the message right now, as you said, our service. I can do life channeling like you, but I haven't honed my skills as much as you, but I can see people in the audience, and I can feel things and I can read, but I have to see them. I have to see what's coming through the energy. And we could do live where you start the channeling and then I add my